fiscal space. It's a program that actually goes beyond the IMF program. If you look at the letter of intent, it doesn't stop in 2012. It goes beyond. In other words, it's a Jamaican program, not an IMF program.
What's your interest rate again, Mr. Johnson?
The interest rate that 1.23%, 5 years grace, 25 years amortization.
Wow. Which of those have we opted for? Is it 25? Are we going 25 years, Minister?
Yes, yes. And certainly the most recent loan from the World Bank has been at 0.63%.
Yes, I've seen that.
That's the more expensive one, Minister. We also have loans on books at 0.43% per year.
Yeah.
Well, that
30
is
years
extremely
maturity.
good.
I want to be like you.
Yes. One of the concerns.
See, Emily, what that will help to do, that along with the debt exchange, is helping to send this signal, very fundamental, that there are lower interest rates out there, and we've got to get it, and we've got to get the profile into single digits. We've got to target that, okay? Because if not, you see what had happened, and then I'll use that to launch my answer into your question about the expansion of the debt.
Yes.
This was in part due to higher interest costs. It was also due in part, what Dr. Davis had done in putting that figure together was to take the information that we sent from the Ministry of Finance, which includes the money that we borrowed from the International Monetary Fund, which although that, as you know, doesn't go into the fiscal account.
Yes.
That is a separate account of the Bank of Jamaica, strictly for balance of payment support. But we have to guarantee that money, so it automatically is introduced as part of the stock of debt. The issue is that when you reach a point of such high levels of debt, and your revenue was falling, interest rates were high, there's a propensity for exponential growth in the debt. So there's a point now where it takes time for a slowing down process to begin, and equally for the fundamentals to be right, so that earnings become the substitutes for borrowings over time. So that even as if you look at the medium-term projections, that we need to get back to growth levels of 6, 7, 8% in the economy. That's where we have to go. Now the projections we have here are relatively conservative. This year, 0.5 to 1%. And the next 2 years, average of 2% per year. Still too low. But it's a process where we have to work our way out of it gradually.
Explain how you so badly miscalculated the fiscal deficit, the projection, 5.5, and then it ended up almost doubling.
Well, here again, many countries much larger and wealthier than Jamaica ended up making bad projections on deficit targets. This period has been unprecedented for us. And the truth is that in other times, both in terms of the expansion of the debt, as well as in terms of the failing of deficit targets, in other times under Dr. Davis's watch, when there was no crisis whatsoever that was discernible, he accomplished those things without a crisis. Now, we openly admit that in a number of the areas, the revenue fall-off was so much sharper than we had anticipated. And I believe also, not just anecdotally, the truth is that the level of non-compliance in taxation, in terms of taxes, went up as well.
So this is what I'm wondering, Minister. With you had an aggressive effort to collect taxes. You had a grace period. You extended it several times. And even so, your projections for revenue, those were not met. What makes you so positive?
About this year's projections?
Yes.
Well, let me say this year's projections are very conservative. They're at about 8 to 8.5%. The outturn last year was about 8%. We had projected much higher. This year, we are projecting at 8.5%. When you consider the inflation rate, which is projected at between 7.5% to 9%, you consider that this will be the first full year of the tax package, all of the tax packages combined. This fiscal year will be the first full year of that. When you factor in there as well the fact that we're going to we're taking steps that I know are going to yield results in terms of greater compliance, both in terms of the contractors levy. Too many contractors out there having contracts and they are not paying their 2% contractors levy. The professionals, that we are now going to enshrine it in law to say that when you are registered, in order to register as a doctor, an architect, an engineer, a land surveyor, you must have a valid tax compliance certificate, because many of the evaders are self-employed professionals as well. And we believe that when you combine all of these features together, in fact, we think that the 8% growth in the revenue is conservative.
We'll hold it to that. The concern I have as well, when the 27-month runs out and this IMF package is no longer there to cushion us, will we not fall flat if the other things don't happen?
I like the question, and here's the answer. Jamaica has no choice. You started out by saying we're either going to have to take off or we are doomed. We cannot afford failure. We just can't. So what we have to do in the period over the next 27 to 30 months of stability, of availability of foreign exchange, of reducing interest rates, we have to have a more vibrant JAMPRO that steps up to the plate. We have some major projects that are strategically across the island. The Falmouth Cruise Ship Terminal has started, US $220 million investment. The Harmony Cove project that was waiting on the casino approval, that will start later this year. Downtown Kingston is about to come alive. Digital is a major investment. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs is going to put in a building. And an individual, a group, wants to construct a new hotel on the old Myrtle Bank site, downtown Kingston.
The police are in charge of what is going on down there? The police, are law enforcers, are they in charge of what is going on downtown to ensure that other people come down there?
They'll have to be. They'll have to be. But these are major projects strategically laid out, along now with additional investment that you heard from Minister Bartlett, and Carl Samuda is coming with a major investment at the Caymanas economic zone there that has Chinese interests as well. And then the support for the small business, micro-enterprise sector, $2 billion set aside at the Development Bank of Jamaica. And we're working with people like Professor Rosalia Hamilton, who's put together an umbrella group for the Alliance for micro and small business and medium enterprises. We're working with them. Listen, we've got to get serious. Don't forget my background, you know.
Yes.
We've been there before where we have had to dig out the economy from lack of growth and put it back on a 6% per year growth. We've done it before. I've been involved in that process.
Well, what year was that again?
We've got to go there again.
What year was that again, Minister?
That was in the 1980s, my dear.
1980s. I'm happy you said.
Long before you were born.
Not born, but long. Mr. Haque, confidence of World Bank in the programs that you hear, and is it that we can expect continued support from the World Bank?
Absolutely, and I think what the viewers have to understand, it's not just a one-shot support. We talked about the budgetary support that we give based on what the government has achieved in terms of policy reforms. Beyond that, in preparing for the next disbursement, we work very closely with our counterparts in the government to help them be ready with all the reforms, the institutional strengthening that is required in order to go to the next step.
Appreciate that. Final word to you, Mr. Johnson. IDB on board for the long haul as well with Jamaica.
Have been and will be. One thing I would like to say very fast is the government is doing some very courageous things. The Minister talked about sacred cows, the ones that are still mooing, that have to be brought into the group that is giving towards success of this program. There's a group in this country, it's a sector, that is exempt from all income tax. That's agriculture, because of a law that was passed at the time of your independence. So you can be a multimillionaire in the agricultural sector and you pay no income tax. But I think the fact that even groups that traditionally or culturally have been outside of the net, everybody is coming in, and that kind of courage and that kind of willingness to take on deeply entrenched exemptions deserves our support and is getting exceptional support from us.
Can we thank you, gentlemen, We're out of time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the
Thanks for
best to
having
you.
us.
That's Impact for this week. Until next week, same time, same place, take care and have a good day. I'm Emily Crooks.